welcome back. We're with the evil genius himself, Vulcan. How was that game for you?
It was pretty chill. I was playing Lulu. My team was smurfing. We kind of...
It was pretty chill. We just destroyed them.
Just a slow destroying of the enemy team.
How do you feel currently with the 13.3 meta of supports right now?
It's nice they buffed the melee supports a little bit. That's like what I prefer. Still waiting for Freak to drop the next nerfs with some of the other support items, so my champs can really be back, and I can play even better with my signature champs. But meta's chill.
Okay, meta's chill. Just so everyone knows what we're doing here, this is tea time. We're just hanging out. We're getting to know each other. We've got some yellow tea.
What is it?
I think it's matcha.
Okay.
I think. Tea. Honestly, it's whatever we found laying around.
Perfect.
And we're into that. So
I like the preparation you went through for me.
You're welcome. Feel free to get cozy. I have some questions for you.
Okay.
You've lived the dream of being a pro. How did it feel to you to finally achieve that?
I remember it was after 2018 Scouting Grounds when there was like a draft at that time when it was like pretty much like a real sport, traditional sport kind of draft where they're like, with the 5th pick of the 2018 North American Scouting Grounds, Clutch Gaming selects Vulcan. And I remember being very, very happy and smiling so hard because, I mean, any amateur player that's grinding and trying to go pro, it's like the goal is to make it to that franchise team or like that pro team. Even if you're like a sub that's in the house getting to watch the team play, it's already like very cool. So it was for Academy, but I remember being extremely happy that day.
Yeah. Do you ever step back and think like, this is so surreal?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, I'm just like walking through the motions, you know, like going through the motions, just playing the video game. But then sometimes, like you said, like take the step back and I'm like, this is a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm not from here. I'm from Canada, small town in Canada. I'm now in LA to play video games.
You're like, how did this happen?
Yeah, how did I get here?
That's so awesome. And I'm
cool.
sure it helps after a game like today's, but I'm curious, how do you prevent yourself from tilting when you're playing with an ADC who might not be doing what you want them to do?
That's a secret. You don't prevent that.
Really? You just get tilted.
You just get tilted, yeah. But it's just about, I think everyone gets tilted. It's just about how you deal with it, kind of. Whether or not you let it affect it. I feel like everyone or most people probably get affected a little bit, but you just try to limit that and try to be the best teammate that you can be, even though you're frustrated. I think getting frustrated is kind of a sign that you care.
Yeah.
So if your teammate's frustrated at someone doing something wrong, or maybe getting frustrated at someone not giving in their 100% or not as much effort as maybe they should, if the others get frustrated at that, then it shows that they care, which is really nice. It feels good to know that your teammates care, and yeah.
And clearly it's working, you and your teammates' synergy, because you guys are doing really, really great. What is that? Today makes you 7-2?
Yeah.
Huge. And we'll see after Cloud9 to see where you're sitting overall.
We've had a few banger games this weekend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, like you said, we've been playing great, but it's like a weird timing after we've had 2 45-minute games that were supposed to be 25. We extended them, and it was not too good from us, but a dub's a dub, right? We're 7-2, like you said.
We'll take those. It. Yep. Well, we do have a little bit of a truth or dare. It wouldn't be tea time with a little bit of tea. Okay. So feel free. We'll go back and forth. So we'll both have to do punishments. We'll see what you get.
All right.
I'm nervous for you.
Yeah, me too. I've heard some of them.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Show last picture on phone.
Okay. Cough it up. Cough it up, everybody. It's time to see Vulcan's phone.
The last broadcastable picture, right?
Oh my.
Oh, it's a picture that I was looking to post for Instagram, but I didn't post this on
Oh, he was looking to post this on Instagram?
I got that from Flickr, LCS Official on Flickr.
Okay.
Right.
What's your caption for this one?
I didn't post it, so I posted a different one. Let me see.
So that's the backup.
I posted this one instead.
Okay.
And I said on the way to 3-0 week before the game, and
you were right.
Here we are.
You called it.
Yep.
Okay. I don't feel like I should go.
Why?
Because I feel like you should just keep going. They don't need to know me.
That doesn't sound fair.
Really?
I mean, I can go.
Let's just see what it is.
Okay.
We don't need to be fair here.
Really hoping it's not this thing that I'm looking at over there.
No, you're not doing that one. That was too cringe.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make you do it. He had to dance.
It wasn't. I couldn't read
and
that.
We're not in dancing vibes. We're hanging out. We're chatting.
Yeah, I don't dance at tea parties usually.
Yeah, we don't.
Bite a lemon.
Okay,
I mean, I can do that. Is there a shot before?
No, you just have to bite it. I hope you have to eat it all the way.
Like the skin?
Yeah. No, not the skin. Not the skin. Just that. Unfazed.
Kind of tastes good. I like lemons.
He is an evil genius.
There's another one if you...
I suppose. Okay, we only have time for one more. I hope it's a good one.
I don't.
There's one that I'm itching for. I get a tweet on your account. I'm just hoping.
Oh.
Dang it.
Read your last sent text message out loud.
Broadcast appropriate, please. I've heard what some of these teams are getting up to.
I said, well, you could read. I have an analysis desk segment now, and then you need to have my phone, question mark, question mark.
Just pure panic from him.
Yeah, in all caps.
Well, thank you very much for hanging out with me. It was fun to get to know you.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can hang out again. But that's it for Tea Time with Cutie. I'm going to go ahead and toss to Emily.
Thank you very much. And now, ahead of facing his old team in Cloud9, here is Draw My LCS and LCK and LPL Life, Summit. Park Summit Ute got his pro career start with a Freak of Freaks. His IGN was actually a suggestion from then coach and StarCraft legend I Love Uv. After a year on the Freaks as Keen's substitute in 2018, Summit joined Sandbox Gaming that December. While on Sandbox Gaming, later Live Sandbox, Summit was known as a strong and aggressive carry top laner. Known for his Jace, Gnar, and Renekton in particular, and a strong 1-2 combo with Live Sandbox jungler Kroko, Summit was then picked up by Cloud9 for 2022 LCS Spring. While on C9, Summit was the indisputable Spring Split MVP for his strong and impressive laning and his ability to take over games on his specific picks. After spending 2022 summer in the LPL on FPX, Summit signed with Team Liquid for the 2023 LCS season. Like his friend, The Shy, Summit plays aggressively and without hesitation. Now Team Liquid hopes to harness that power en route to another LCS title for the org. And obviously, it hasn't necessarily gone Summit and TL's way thus far. I know they're going to be really excited to take on his old team. And as we head out to casters, Fudge had a few words himself for Summit before their first meeting this year.
Playing against Summit is also a bit of an ego battle, so we're gonna have to see how that one goes.
How are you gonna approach that? I mean, maybe I'm asking too much here, but how do you approach playing against ego players like you've coined?
I play against them normally, but I do think Blaber has a tendency to like to gank Summit. I think he's a little bit hurt about Summit dying in playoffs a lot, so he's like ganking top lane whenever he can. He's like skipping every camp he can to come top lane, so Summit has to worry about that one.
Fudge trying to put the fear of God in Summit in this interview.
It's a mind games, it's a mind games.
Hey.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, yo, welcome everybody back to the LCS game number 3 we got going on our stage soon enough. And as we mentioned previously, we have a special guest on our hands. We've got Revenge. What do you do?
Hello.
I actually have DMs with Revenge from 2017 when you were still amateur and you were going off to school instead. I was really sad that you weren't going to play in the LCS. Like, man, you know, congratulations on getting your scholarship, but hope one day you'll come see us at the LCS. And now you're here casting with me. Let's go.
No, we're doing it. I casted last time. It was with Marks and Flowers?
Probably either Flowers or Azale maybe.
Or Azale, yeah, it was Azale.
Yeah,
that was really fun. But yeah, so I'm excited to do it again. This is a banger game as well, so I definitely am going to be looking at this top matchup. Fudge versus Summit.
Yes, Fudge versus Summit, baby. We've got a lot to say there. Also, Cloud9 just announced that they signed Armeo as a jungle coach, positional coach. And obviously, he played with Haeri and Yeon for 2 years. The most, dominant academy team that we've seen in a long time. So I'm excited to see that.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, they announced it, but he's been helping them for the entire split so far.
He's been helping for a while.
Yeah,
they just announced it yesterday, maybe to hype up this match. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I've been seeing him because we've been scrimming them, and he's obviously like in the lobby, and So he's been helping them for a while, and Armeo, just like speaking to him as a person, he's really smart about the game, and I know he's like close with Blaber, so I'm sure the two of them just like bounce off each other, exchange ideas, and yeah. I mean, Blaber's been having an insane split so far as well. So,
certainly has. All right, let's see. A lot of bottom side focus. Still the respect for Pyosik's Kindred. I feel like that is warranted due to the most recent World Championship skin.
Yeah, he's a pretty good Kindred. I'll just say that.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Okay, so this is one thing too. We've seen a lot of Maokai getting left up when Sylas is also still not banned.
Right.
I feel like that greatly reduces the impact of the early Maokai picks. I think this is an amazing jungler.
Yeah.
Absolutely OP jungler right now. But how much is that going through your mind about possible, like, because you usually think about jungle versus jungle counters, but jungle versus mid lane counters and trying to be able to steal your ult.
Well, I mean, I just think Sylas is a really strong champion right now, and obviously, like, certain players are better than him than others, right? And I think that, obviously, like, Maokai ult is probably one of the things that makes him the most broken in the game, so I don't think it, like, completely breaks the game for a team to have Sylas when Maokai's open, but it's, like, definitely raises it. It raises the pile for him for sure. But, man, this 1-2-3 by C9 is pretty strong already, I'm not gonna lie, for team fighting at least.
Yeah, we're seeing more of that Xayah Rakan bot lane coming out in recent times, and I think seeing C9 come to the table with it, I think it speaks well to the synergy that Berserker and Zven have. Kobe, what do you think about them coming into the fold more and more?
Yeah, definitely think it's been a huge beneficial thing to have Berserker. I mean, Zven actually requested, I will only continue to play support if Berserker is still here. And Berserker said, I will only stay with you if you keep Zven. So they definitely wanted to play together, and they definitely have some strong synergy in that bottom lane. But moving forward, holy moly, this is some early game looks from Team Liquid. With the Elise pick here snagged up, you said you're looking at Fudge versus Summit.
Yeah.
And Elise has some of the biggest impact on top lane matchups of any jungler ever.
Yeah, I'm going to be expecting Fudge to play either Cassante, Sion, or even like Ornn or something in this game now because
something that can stay safe.
Blinding top lane on blue side while against Elise is like one of the hardest things to do in the game. So I'm honestly surprised that C9 went this route, but they probably just have a lot of confidence in Fudge because he's a pretty stable player. He'll always find a way to be useful in the game, even if he's behind. I'm honestly surprised TL didn't ban Sion. I think that just taking that out of the game as an option for C9 would have been pretty smart.
And where are you on the scale with Summit of like, all right, we banned Gnar and Jace.
Yeah.
And I'm not too scared. Like, he is such a champion-specific player.
Yeah.
Almost to the level of Armut, but Summit obviously memed on it a lot as well.
Yeah.
And with Cloud9, knowing very well the strengths and weaknesses of Summit, and banning out both Gnar plus Jace and following up on the Fiora, do you feel pretty comfortable if you were in Fudge's position?
I would feel pretty good right now. I don't think that Summit has more, at least counter picks into like blinds right now that he would be like really scary on, honestly. I think that like banning the Gnar and Jace first is kind of a must at this point though, if you're on C9 side and you want to blind top. So yeah, I mean, I'd be, interesting. It's a Sion locked in? Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, you called out wanting to see the Sion banned away within this draft, now getting the lock-in here, and also another pick that's been coming through more and more.
Yeah, I mean, Sion's just a really, like, a lot of people are playing AP junglers right now, and Sion's one of the unique tanks that does a lot of physical damage, so that helps a lot too. But on top of that, he's just a way more stable laner than, like, Ornn right now, because he could just push, he can survive. If you dive him, he can still catch the CS. And a lot of teams are just playing really bot focused right now because, yeah, the game bot lane's pretty OP, so I think that this game's going to be all about bot lane, especially for the TL side.
Yeah, for sure for this TL side, because the Elise needs somewhere to go early. Elise is like, I need a volatile lane. All right, guess what? It's not top side. I'm definitely going to look for Lucian, Nami, and maybe the mid lane we've been trying to hype up. Still, there is no Sylas ban, and it does have to be a blind for Diplex. Most teams against Cloud9 have found the most success trying to attack their mid lane, attack Diplex, so could be Elise playing through mid as well as bottom.
Honestly, I'm pretty happy seeing this draft condition coming out of TL because I think that especially Yeon has been playing, he's like one of the top ADCs in LCS right now, I think, and he's been playing really well. Him and Core have been gapping almost everyone bot lane in the league, and I think that I like to see the confidence from them to go, okay, hey Summit, we know you're like crazy, we know you're good on carries and stuff, but you're gonna play Sion this game, and we're just gonna play hard bot lane and just let our bot lane carry because, yeah I mean, they've been showing up, you know? for this team. So
show me that crazy Sion. Give me the Psycho Sion.
No, seriously. I mean, I think it's a really good draft by TL, honestly. I would definitely say TL has an edge this game.
And another comfort pick here for Haeri. Haeri already most played Azir by far this splits, and it's going to be number 4 for him. You know, it's definitely going to be one of the points where they can also focus. Viktor into Azir. The Viktor always has to worry about these Shurima shuffles.
Yeah.
Once you're level 6, they can blow your flash. Elise can definitely blow your flash. So then they can look for those combination plays. And I feel like that is a pretty good recipe for Team Liquid. You know, looking to blow flashes mid, looking to get your Lucian Nami up to the Gale Force, mandate power spike, and try and play that way.
Honestly, this will be a pretty even game. Like, even if it goes late game, I think both teams have like a pretty solid late game. I would probably say I'm more on the edge of like C9 if TL doesn't make anything happen early. Like, especially if the bot lane matchup goes like even for C9 somehow this game. I think it's like, honestly, definitely C9 favorite draft. And Fudge Cassante, yeah, it's pretty good on it too. So we'll see.
Very differing positions for these teams in Cloud9 and Team Liquid Honda when finishing out this round robin. Cloud9 wanting to still continue to cement their spot at the top of the standings and being a formidable contender. Team Liquid wanting to prove they are more than their 3-5 record and have lots of strengths that they can play towards. So taking to the Rift for our third game of the day with Revenge by our side. I did find that really cool how you were saying that you want to see them really indexing into that bot lane on Team Liquid side, giving power to Yeon. As Yeon and Haeri being players we have actually tracked for a while, have you been impressed from what you've seen from them since coming to the LCS?
I've been pretty impressed with Yeon. I definitely think Haeri still has some growing pains, which is a bit expected. I think mid lane's a lot harder to kind of acclimate into the big leagues, but I think Yeon's been getting help from core and just honestly just playing a lot more consistently. So yeah, I would say they're on a good trajectory for both of them overall though. So pretty nice to see it.
The signs are getting real.
Yeah.
The signs are getting too real in here.
Oh yeah.
Cloud9 off to a good start though. They got the ward kill on bottom, which it's kind of memeable to talk about the value of the gold and actual experience there, but it does actually mean a decent amount here for Xayah Rakan being able to push up towards side brush control.
Yeah, it's funny because I was saying how I want to look at the top matchup, but now we're just
once you see the draft, you're like, you know what? Maybe we slide that camera down.
I think top will be pretty boring, although I think around level 6, Cassante can actually like make things more volatile and actually try to kill Sion, but we'll see how that ends up. I mean, I don't know. So, Summit's pretty aggressive, so maybe top lane becomes... Oh, wow. Already.
Speaking of some aggression here on the bot side, get the flash out of Yeon here on the Lucian.
That's pretty big, actually. Wow.
That's very, very big. Yeah, it definitely can be punished just as much as defensive ones can be punished. And Maokai, you can do just 3 camp Maokai. If you see that happen, yes, he is running cleanse on the Lucian, but wonder if Blaber wants to go for an early visit on bottom side. Yeah, 3 camp. Oh, you need that experience from the little mini Krug, though.
Where are they going?
Get back here.
They went on their own journey. They're like, it's fine, it's fine. It looks like there's so many signs in the audience based around top side. Are you sad that it doesn't seem like a more exciting top lane matchup as a top laner yourself?
Well, yeah, but like this is just kind of the state of the game, just being honest. It's like, we do sometimes see just from draft, a top laner will blind a carry or something, and then there's like a carry punish, but I think that I am curious to see how they'll do in fights, because I think that Summit's kind of been struggling outside of lane a lot, whereas Fudge hasn't. I think Fudge has been a really good team fighter for his team and stuff this split, so like, I want to see if Summit can actually like pick it up outside of lane too. So it's like a good test for him as well this game, I think.
I think one of those players where there's still for sure those question marks when you look at one play versus another moment and you're looking to see what he can pull in a match like this, where it's Pyosik trying to make the long play around bot because it was double warded over and dry, and immediately down below, Berserker, the subject of all, ends up flashing out. First blood over to Pyosik.
And CoreJJ tanks just enough tower damage. I almost thought that was going to be enough after he heated up to blast him, but perfectly executed dive here for Team Liquid. And it draws me back to those little Kruglets walking the wrong way, delaying Blaber. Because that delayed Blaber, he didn't go for the early gank. It allowed the extra time for Team Liquid's bottom lane to move up, and they got their warder place. So then Blaber's like, all right, fine. he goes on to finish his full clear. And that left the window open. Pyosik, he walks over the tri-brush board, but still wraps around for the longer gank.
I mean, I am curious if they just thought they would not be diveable, because this is pretty bad not to cover. I feel like this is one of those things where, like, you know what their game plan is. You know their game plan is to play around bot. Like, you kind of have to cover this for C9. I feel like this is going to make the game extremely hard to play.
Yeah, then Core does a good job. He takes tower aggro. He uses his summoner heal. He survives with the potion ticking with the summoner heal used.
Ideally, you want Elise to tank usually in dives. I think
and
it was
repel.
The return, and the stun onto one, and Berserker retreating again. So Team Liquid continuing to apply the pressure that they very much set up for themselves in draft.
If that bubble hit, it was just game over, honestly, for C9. Like, that was really, really huge that they survived that gank. And now they can get the outpush from Maokai and kind of get back into the game and stabilize. Just so big, by the way.
One of my favorite openings to games, Elise with First Blood, because you can just rush short shoes. It is crazy how much power you can have if you get First Blood like that. He's gonna go repeat number 3 here, and Blaber counter.
This time Blaber's here, the stun up, and the Aqua Prison hit this time around onto Zven. Does Blaber want to follow up with Berserker?
Okay.
Tries to get into the center of the action.
I don't think Blaber dies here, but wow, this is so good for TL. Oh my god.
Still trying to go for it. They did manage to get the flash out from Blaber, though.
This is exactly why you guys are seeing Elise like almost permanent ban, by the way. I know like it's not coming out that much recently because of all the bans, but this is like a perfect example being shown by Pyosik how to play this champion.
Okay, I have a question for you, because I'm wondering if this is just my jungle feeling or not, as we get a flash attempt at the cocoon. What?
Diplex so close to death there.
Yeah, I think he felt like he was out of range there. It is flash for flash. Diplex doesn't go down. Man, I wanted to talk about the last play, but mid lane flash being blown. These are literally exactly the check marks I was talking about in Champ Select. Play off bottom lane, blow the flash off this Viktor as you're approaching level 6 for the Azir. Now you can Azir shuffle with your flash, with your ultimate ready. I feel like Team Liquid's game plan is going exactly how they drew it up.
Dude, I'm just so happy to see Pyosik finally playing like this. Like, I don't know, I feel like we haven't really been seeing him like...
I bet Steve is too.
Yeah, like this is exactly what I think we expected to see from Pyosik when he came to NA. Kind of just like playing to this level. It's really nice to see, honestly. Yeah.
So where was your kind of perceived strength of TL then? Were you always like, I know that they're kind of middling right now, but I have faith, or were you worried like some of the fans?
I was pretty concerned because I felt like Summit wasn't playing as well, obviously, and it's not a top meta right now. But I was also pretty worried about their mid jungle, how they were playing. Like, not worried, but like, you know, when thinking about their team, I felt like the mid jungle weren't playing well and synchronized. So I felt like it was making their early games go really poor as well. But just watching this game is like, it's just, yeah, it's really nice to see. It's a good sign for TL for sure. Summit's stable right now. Mid is winning, bot is winning, obviously, and Pyosik is just completely smurfed. So we'll see how C9 brings it back, but it's pretty good, pretty good.
Another unique narrative consideration of this matchup with Summit facing off against Cloud9, since the last time he was here, facing off against players like Fudge, previously sharing time, right?
Yeah.
So there is some very shared experience between him and the rest of the squad, and maybe some internal pressure to step up and perform and serve as the team as needed on the Sion in that tank role. Meanwhile, over on the bot side though, Blaber hanging around for just a bit of time, the warding good by Team Liquid, because they know how much attention is going to be spent from this bot side from both of the junglers.
Yeah, I was expecting maybe another 3v3 to come down here, but I think C9 actually just played it really smart. They burned the wave, and yeah, they're probably gonna actually start this dragon. It might be a 3v3. We'll see.
Yeah, Elise is definitely around. If you look at mid lane too, mid lane prio should be Haeri's, because Diplex has no flash, and Azir pushing in. It's just the Cassante diff maybe. Cassante roaming down.
Yeah, but Sion could always ulti. I don't know if TL was just not expecting this. I mean, very easily could have used his prio to at least like check the river, synchronize with Pyosik. Like, it's kind of what this was kind of what I was talking about, where I really felt like the mid jungle weren't playing together here. Like, you have mid push, we don't have vision in river. I felt like that was a timer to maybe like get control of the river as the mid jungle and kind of connect the bot lane. And if they're doing dragon, they should just fight them there. And yeah, Fudge moving is kind of irrelevant because Sion has ulti to follow him. Like, that could have easily became a 5v5 that I think would probably be in TL's favor at this point. So, but here they're getting rift now, so.
Definitely agree with you on that, though. With Haeri, I don't think it's necessarily a testament to his skill, but seeing those mis-synergized moments between that jungler, between that mid, and a bit of those windows coming to a close in moments, and you wonder what'll happen once they shore that up a bit. But right now, still able to make the play on the map with 1.2k gold for Team Liquid. Picked up that Rift Herald for themselves. Pyosik sitting nice and pretty with those 2 kills and more to throw that across the map.
I do wonder if they're going to try to punish this Viktor now. His flash is coming up soon, and this is like kind of what you were talking about earlier, Kobe, where it's like, it's so easy for Viktor to die here now.
Yeah, I've been staring at mid lane on the other screen, waiting for it. You know, the Azir with flash advantage to be able to pounce, but Team Liquid do trade that dragon for the topside Rift Herald, and you can use it there to blow it open, but might just be traveling down towards bottom side to
what TL's doing is so good right now, though. They're controlling the bot jungle, like making them really, really scared right now to even enter their bot side, and like now they might even go for a dive because they know from vision that Maokai's probably not around right now. Not for sure. Oh, it's fighting, but it's like nothing. And yeah, and now look, like they're just getting plate spot for TL. Like, this is just really good macro and good gameplay from jungle support from TL.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when the camera is up there on Summit and he's not getting ganked, it's a great feeling for Team Liquid. Their bottom side is full focus for Pyosik. Just ping-ponging between mid and bottom. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to really abuse this flashless Viktor, and it's about to come up now.
Yeah. I think they still... I think the flashless Viktor was still, like... I mean, he's down like 30 CS almost, and he's not been able to pressure lane at all, and they've been getting control deep in bot jungle, so I think they still achieved a lot from Viktor having no flash. It's just not the kill, right? But a lot was achieved. I think maybe Viktor was just playing very safe.
Second attempt at the counter gank here from Cloud9. They had vision of Pyosik, so they know he's here with the Herald.
That's Summit teleporting down bot to be here for the play.
Yeah, I mean, usually what Sions do is that they actually run down bot from base and then use the ulti to try to... Oh.
Ulti to Diplex instead, going for the slam, the gravity field for the lockup, so Diplex can retreat safely. That flash is up by now. At this point, Aqua Prison hits onto one. Got the tidal wave coming through. Zven has to back up. Berserker going for it. Doesn't have a heal available, but does have a flash if necessary. Eats so much of the calling, but Yeon can't finish off.
Yeah, again, wow. I mean, this is still really good for TL, but it was a bit unusual what Summit did. Most of the Sions just come out of base with ult, but he kind of wanted to play it really fast. But overall, I mean, this is still going to be accelerating the Lucian Nami a lot. Pyosik gets another great gank off. This guy's smurfing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. We saw Zven emoting in front of his face with the classic question mark frog emote towards Summit's play, but like you said, pretty big lead still accomplished for Team Liquid with Pyosik constantly hovering around. Maokai ult does come out.
Blaber from the river side, and Pyosik and CoreJJ just waiting it out. They know that they are safe. Zven is nearby as well. But definitely a strong start for Team Liquid and Revenge. You called it out. You like the draft that they were coming through with. You like the way that they were playing in the early minutes, and it looks like we're getting some of the same here past 12.
I mean, I just think it's an amazing plan by TL facing C9, just looking at how Fudge is performing, and like even Summit. It's like make Summit stable and let bot carry. And I just think it's like a really, really good plan by them, and they're playing it really perfectly, so it's nice to see. And Summit's just, I mean, look at top lane. Both turrets, healthy. I mean, look at this, man.
The top lane experience. Yeah. Get us inside their minds.
Yeah, I mean, they're just having, oh, what?
Oh, Haeri in the center of Zven and Diplex going in with the grand entry right here. Diplex gets the kill onto Haeri, so suddenly we're looking so much at the pressure on Diplex earlier from that flash, but it is the death onto Haeri that is achieved first.
I mean, that was just an int.
That was, I was gonna say, that was very interesting play.
Interesting.
I don't think they'll lose Drake because he does have TP. That's just pretty important. I don't know, I really don't know why he was doing that, but it's fine. I don't think they're gonna lose too much from it, because, you know, he got pretty greedy for a plate. Maybe he had items from the plate, you know? I'm trying to give him some cope, you know? I'm trying to give him some cope.
There we go. Yeah. Fill him up on the cope as the dragon's about to spawn.
Yeah.
He's back. Wasn't that long, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to lose dragon from it.
Well, he doesn't have his ult still for it. He won his ults. Fudge was kind of hovering once again.
I'm curious. I want to look at the items actually from Field. they don't have the mandate yet on Nami. That's when the real pain begins, honestly. I think that it becomes like very, very, very hard for Xayah to come to play after they have that. And you'll usually see Lucian Nami's shift and start playing on the mid waves once they have those item spikes because and turret plates fall because it just becomes really, really hard to deal with them. But it's like there's a dragon. I think C9's contesting.
A teleport coming in from Cloud9 and Pixel, and the ultimate from Sion as well, aiming for Zven, but Zven battle dances away, so it lands on one. Berserker goes down. Fudge is here for the fight too, but Team Liquid, they are in pursuit. They grabbed 2 players already, and with the Chaos Storm to create more distance between them and the squad, Team Liquid turned back onto the dragon.
I mean, I don't know if Summit was just smurfing there or if Berserker is trolling because
he's trolling, dude!
Like what? And Flash, like what? What is going on?
Maybe it was confused, you know, Zven battle dancing away. Oh, I don't got my support in front of me. Oh no.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know what to say. That's one of those things you look at after the game and you're just like, yeah, my bad, guys. Like, I really don't know. C9 really wants to fight that. I actually think that it would have been a pretty even fight because Fudge had a really good angle. He actually TP'd behind them on the dot bush. And yeah, it would have been a really good fight for C9 if Berserker obviously didn't just get one shot.
Yeah, that's gonna change the way the whole team fight plays if that happens.
Yeah, okay. It's a montage.
Front row seat, baby.
Like, look at that TP from Fudge.
Summit train has arrived. Direct hit right into the Nami wave knockup.
Oh.
So I like that we're seeing the full combo because he didn't get a chance to move after it hit, but as he said, as a Xayah, you're not supposed to get hit there. You know, he has flash, he can flash over that wall. He has Xayah ultimate as well. Once he got hit though, Summit's job is done. This is the best Summit game I've seen in a long time. You know, yeah, he's not smashing lane where you're like, big ego, adrenaline boost here as a top laner, but he's doing so much more for the team by being Sion top and then just coming in with one mega ultimate to rule them all.
I mean, I think he's definitely just doing his job right now, which is good. I think that engage was obviously really, really good. Partially Berserker inting, but that's like pretty much what you want to see from when it's tank versus top, like tank versus tank top. You kind of get into these fights, and I think we're gonna get into another one right now, where it looks like Sion has the move. Looks like TL should give this, or sorry, C9 should give this. Yeah.
Cloud9 up. Sion just activating again.
Just scaring everyone.
I love the Summit cam. Whenever we get a little pop up there, you're like, is this a rando ult or is this going to one-shot Berserker?
I think they were just a little like sketched out if Sion was contesting the rift or not, so they just used it for pressure. But I think the fogging already was enough because if I'm Fudge there, I'm yelling, guys, I don't have TP. Sion has, you know, Pryo in the river, like he's gonna ulti, he's gonna be there first. It's 5v4, you know. So.
And you know those memes of AD carries players getting scared and shouting out, ah, you know, Akali's coming or something like that. If you have the sound of the Sion ult, you get that mental start to freak out. I'm gonna get hit again.
Yeah. Usually as a top laner, when you're like marking Sion the most, you kind of want to tell your team like where he's coming from, use some pings, you know, so your AD carry doesn't freak out and just like.
Same thing as jungle. You're used to just spam pinging, drawing as much attention as you possibly can to track people.
Yeah.
I am wondering though, Revenge, you're talking about how, oh, this is what you want to see from the tank tops and like doing their thing, doing what they need to for the team. Do you think it means more in this context with seeing Summit doing this specifically, considering the type of player and the way that he's adapting to kind of his role here to be able to facilitate the rest of the TL squad?
I think so. I mean, Summit's been getting flamed a lot, but he's still a really good player, and people kind of forget that, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know. I mean, he's still a really, really talented laner. I know he's been playing a bit inconsistently, but like when he does have pop-off games, people are going to remember, like, oh yeah, this is Summit, you know? And he's a player that's played, like, been playing for so long now. He's shown in his career that he has different styles to play, so
exactly.
It's nice for him to show up here in NA during it.
And he draws so much attention on the map in so many games as well, and sometimes when looking at the prime moments for Summit and here being able to service the team, I think it's really important to point out just how strong he is and what value he adds to this Team Liquid squad. Though spending so much time just facing off against Fudge across the rest of the
nothing's happening in that try, but
slam, chonk. You know those heavier audio effects that you get a bunch, but Rift Herald being dropped over here in mid. Looking for the slam through. Cloud9 initiating here with an ultimate to try to keep them off bay.
I feel like that's a big cooldown here. Team Liquid aren't going to relent after that. No Maokai ultimate. That's That's your big counter engage. Dragon coming up in 44 seconds.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some Lucian Nami gameplay right now. Just going up in Xayah's face, making her sit under turret like she is now. They're going to break this mid turret and then probably play for Dragon. That's what I expect to see. And it should be TLs.
Yeah, Summit's already pushing bottom lane. They should have bottom push plus mid prio.
I think Nami left, but I'm not sure. I guess they're not breaking mid on this turn. I mean, that turret will die eventually, but expected them to just... I think Nami actually based here so she can have vision.
Yeah, double control ward pickup.
Just refill her wards, have vision control on Dragon, because this should be a Dragon stacking game for TL. But they did lose the first Dragon, which was, I think, a blunder, actually. I think they had mid push, they had... bot was like even. I think they should have gotten the first Dragon as well.
Yeah, probably the only mistake of the game though, or the only even opening that they're looking back on, because they had a really clear game plan in Champ Select and they executed on it really well too.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, this is when the Lucian Nami just start to really control the game. I mean, when they're ahead like this, Xayah pretty much cannot contest any of the waves unless her whole team is there, because Lucian Nami can just easily poke her out, and then it's like, well, I got a base, guys. It's just really hard to play. This is why we see this combo being picked so much.
That Imperial Mandate call out from earlier, now fully built. A lot of times when you're looking at the Rakan and beyond, you can anticipate where to drop down those Aqua Prisons, where to get those lockdowns on the carry placement. So Team Liquid now, with this pressure, can pick up their second Drake.
And the quick blade second, baby, oh my goodness, so much damage now.
Yeah.
It's not the extra range from the rapid fire, but it was such a nice change to be able to do this second if you're snowballing like this.
Yeah, he is going to be really strong right now. Like if you press tab, like if you're Blaber, for example, and you're like, guys, can we contest mid wave? And then you look at AD items, you're just like, shoot, how do we play the game? Because Sion has push, mid has push, and I think Azir is winning over Viktor right now as well, just based on items. It's like, it's really hard for C9 to actually play the game right now. They just have to just hope that they can get some 5v5 off on probably the next Dragon, or even if, TL starts Baron. And yeah, just hope for the best.
Trusting in what Cloud9 can bring in the team fights later on. We're past that 21-minute mark. Almost 4K gold lead for Team Liquid at this point. Turret control as well, having taken down 2. They were willing to have that patience to finally knock down that mid turret, which always has an extended effect on opening up the map and the way that they can rotate through it, and the extended jungle, as you can see here, to try and get some of that warding a bit more aggressive.
And we even have Zven going Radiant Virtue, Rakan here, to be extra beefy, extra tanky himself, looking to be one of these big main engages. If Rakan can get that quick engage into Maokai follow-up, then maybe you can construct one of those team fights later. But obviously, Yeon going cleanse in this game gives him that extra layer of safety even before CoreJJ is able to build a Mikhails or anything.
Yeah, and Mikhails is playing really standard macro. I think they probably didn't sync the waves. Like I think Azir should have pushed the wave a bit slower, so they used a timer of bot lane and jungle shifting there to get that turret and siege that turret. But you pretty much just want to use mid push to get all the objectives on the map. Usually it's the top turret, then the next top turret because Baron's on the map. And yeah, it's standard macro by TL, but I think they did have a bit of a mistake. But it doesn't really matter that much, because it's just like a really good example of how the game is controlled when a bot lane is ahead. And it's why, when people say bot's OP or this is a bot-centric meta, this is exactly why. It's just bot controls the game in the mid game like this.
Yeah, not much you can do when the Lucian Nami controls mid like that and the tower's already down. Yeah. I will say though, one of the bonuses of having Maokai on your team is these saplings is helping them keep vision around Baron and keep that defensive vision from the rotation from mid up towards top.
Yeah.
Because it could be dangerous to retake wards and vision area like that if you don't have a bunch of saplings all through these brush. And so that's Blaber's job. He's been doing it quite well.
Yeah. No, yeah, actually, pretty good point. Like, if it weren't for saplings there, they would have been really scared to stay under turret and defend that. Like, they had no idea where they were in the river, or they could not get vision easily. So, saplings are pretty good for macro play, yeah.
You could see them popping under the toes of Pyosik when he was moving through, so that additional level of utility from that for Cloud9 working out well. I mean, Blaber, definitely one of the strongest jungles we've seen in the LCS over history, and will for sure know how to pilot a pick like this that has been so prominent within the meta because of those tools and the ability to set around objectives and when behind, offering that sort of vision. But yeah, now we are here with Team Liquid still holding strong onto this. The Featherstorm answering, the calling, so ultimates expelled from both of the bot laners of Cloud9 and Team Liquid.
Just really good recognition there from Yeon and Core. Just they're like, wait, what is this guy doing? Like, he's stepping up. I think he's sitting on like almost like 2.8k gold or something now. Yeah, 2.7k gold. He has his Navori's in base. Like, that was just not allowed, you know? And they punished it, and yeah, now they just have control for another round of the game.
Yeah, the fun part of playing mid-game Lucian, just unleashing full culling. Because even though it's an overall trade, it's an overall trade and half of the health bar off each of those members. So they finally get that top tower.
270 CS at 24 minutes. Yep. That guy is going to be pretty unkillable for a long time. Like, Xayah is really behind right now. To be, like, she needs a last Whisper or LDR ASAP to deal with the Sion, or it's going to be... Yeah, that's going to be an unkillable Sion in fights, by the way.
I'm ready for the next Summit pop-up. Where's that choo-choo train going next?
Yeah, it's coming. Like, this is going to be a really scary Sion.
Just blasting on down. I mean, that's a pretty nice view of the rift, I guess, that you get if you actually got to ride in the train of Summit across, but unfortunately we don't get that view.
He could just tank all the saplings and just retake the dragon. Like, this is just... Oh, that's probably flash burn from Blaber, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, flash into the pit with 7 seconds to go before this Drake spawns. You want to get as much from the jungler as possible. Teleport coming in from Cloud9 across mid lane and positioning over on the back to try and collapse upon Team Liquid. CoreJJ is going to be the one to see him. Goes for it over Zven, who has to blast cone over the wall. Now Pyosik turning towards him. We got the ultimate coming out from Blaber. They get some burn onto Summit, but he is so strong, so beefy, such a big boy. And Zven completely separated by Pyosik from the rest of his team, deciding, do I circle around or do I collapse from this angle as well? Blaber getting chunked down to about 60%. The kick back here on to Summit and flashes into the pit, and now the subject of Blaber and Fudge. The Chaos Storm way into the backline, and Diplex seeing if he can get a death ray onto Summit, but they can't finish him off just yet. Fudge is the one into dangerous territory. Still has the ultimate to pop up when needed, but the stun, Yeon goes in for it, but Fudge goes back. Pyosik up into the air, and down he goes to shut down for a Berserker. Kill onto Yeon. Cloud9 trying to turn this Summit, finally getting eliminated into his dead state. Zven flashing forward to avoid the Aqua Prison from CoreJJ, who has separated him off and over all the way onto the wayside of this jungle. Berserker trying to pick one up. They're taking down Team Liquid, and Cloud9 really putting up a fight.
I mean, this is literally this is just how C9 has to win this game, and Yeon gave the opening. I mean, he just played way too fast. Like, the way you play with Lucian Nami in fights is playing off the cooldowns, playing slow, poking them out, but he just went in for, I guess, the Cassante thinking he had the damage, but he just didn't, and man, that's gonna really sting looking back on it.
Yeah, it might be game losing if they get this Baron. Pyosik wants to have a steal. He can't get out.
Oh my God.
Blaber secures the Baron for Cloud9. Oh, these are game-changing moments.
What a roller coaster. He wasn't in range for his repel quite to the center for the Baron pit, but he comes back down and still has a blast cone to get in for the second attempt at a heart attack play. Blaber still secures it in the end, though, and my goodness, here it is. Okay, so the Maokai ult starts it out so they can start chunking on Summit. Maybe that's why Yeon felt kind of pressured to do something here, because Summit starts getting whittled down early as far as the front line, but still kind of fine there. Then Fudge on the Q3, he dodges back.
I don't know what Summit is doing here, though. I mean, he's giving way too much, taking way too much damage here for no reason. I mean, him living here is like, I mean, it's good, but it's still really, really bad for TL in this fight. Like, but yeah, Yeon. It could have been a really good fight for TL. I mean, it's kind of on Summit as well. Like, as a tank, you don't want to play, you don't want to lose all your HP for no reason. Like, you want to give your HP to let your carries do damage. And Yeon just uses E. Like, he had cooldowns. He did not have to step up there and go for a Sion Q.
I'd say every player, one thing you never want to do, give all your HP for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier, where it's like, I want to see how Summit plays outside of lane and how he can make these picks work, but that was also just really, really bad.
Completely cutting through the gold lead that Team Liquid had previously acquired, and C9 really in it now.
Yeah, and props to Fudge as well, because, you know, Cassante walking around behind him to get the all-out, push him back into the rest of the team, and get him into that position after he's blatantly walking right up there, kind of soaking, puts Cloud9 in a winning position from a massive lead from Team Liquid. When you're running this sort of comp, if you have Baron and it's giving over this much money to Cloud9, It's already 3.8k gold plus probably mid turrets.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I lied. I guess the Sion can die if he's going to, you know, I guess if he's going to play like that. And I mean, Xayah's not even going for the LDR. He's going for just that raw damage build and just looking to kill the TL backline, I'm guessing, and just, you know, carry the fight that way, because he's going to be really strong soon as well.
Yeah, I mean, because they chunked Summon out so heavily, that's why Berserker got to go so ham in that team fight. He jumping into the middle, gets the big blade collar on them, gets to rip the rest of them apart. Cloud9, one more hit on that mid turret to get that extra money and complete the full comeback here, but they're feeling so much better now. That was basically a full item for Berserker off that last team fight, plus how much they got off of Baron. That paid for his rapid fire cannon.
I mean, it's really smart itemization by Berserker. Like, he needs range to be able to do damage to Azir and Lucian in these games, in this game, so it's just really, really, really good itemization by him, actually.
Cloud9 finding the chance to really swing things in their favor. And for Team Liquid, yeah, this isn't as wacky a game as the EG one, but can the Hearts handle it if leads that they acquire end up getting turned against them, as Cloud9 are looking to do just that? They get the root onto one and throw the gravity snore under him, and the response by the tidal wave gets multiple knocks up, but with the mid laner eliminated from TL, they do not have the numbers advantage, and Cloud9 looking to dish it back. Berserker going out with the ultimate, gets a double kill in response. Summit in the center of them all, has to flash away, and now Team Liquid are feeling the pressure and the walls closing upon them as Cloud9 extend their gold lead and continue to pressure the tier 2 on top.
I mean, C9's team play is just so damn good. Like, I mean, most of these players coming off of winning the finals last year stayed on the roster, and they're like, I mean, it just shows, you know, you get to see the way they team fight, the way they play together is like just, you know, a tier above a lot of other teams. So, wow, okay.
Where'd Blaber go?
A little compensation kill for Pyosik.
The way they walk in front of towers, trying to
look at
leave
Blaber.
the site.
Lean back.
You know his comms right there too. He's like, I'm trolling. I do a little bit of trolling. It's okay. We still made our comeback good. That throw was not nearly as big as the team fight. You know, that Cloud9 had kind of back to back.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels extra bad because dragon spawning, and this was just like, I mean, this was a pretty important dragon to take if you're on the C9 side, because it's kind of like, you know, either gives you another opportunity to 5v5 them, but based on their tempo on the map, they would have gotten that dragon for free if Blaber was alive, for sure. So, no problem. They could just, you know, play for the Baron condition and then, you know,
that's
win the game
good
that way.
coaching talk right there. I like it. We need
Oh
my, he canceled the E.
All the while, the rotation top from Cloud9, they get this kill onto Haeri. You could see it, the soul point acquired from Team Liquid, and the rest of Cloud9 deciding the part that we do have vision of, let's just go right up there and get that mid laner.
That was some pretty good Cassante gaming, I'm not gonna lie. He used the W to cancel the Azir E, and then he used the ult, like the unstoppable from, you know, not getting Azir ulted. He just ulted through him, the wall, and just killed him. So that was just really good Cassante gaming, actually.
Yeah, I think you and Fudge have had some of the biggest Cassante games so far this split in the LCS. Definitely big performance to get a pick on the Azir too. Pretty big, hard shove to get vision through red quadrant of the jungle for Cloud9. And whenever you have deep vision like that, being able to lie in way, beautiful. As he said, interrupts the dash.
He was holding it too. He was anticipating it happening, so he held onto the ult, was like jiggling back and forth, and then just, you know, did it on the perfect timing. So, well played, Fudge.
So a dragon traded for some extended map dominance from Cloud9. Off of that kill onto Haeri. And around that dragon play, that's where we saw a lot of the vision acquired from Team Liquid on bot side, but Cloud9 have maintained over on this top side, which is going to be all the more important with Baron spawning now, but Team Liquid are the first to rotate over.
Yeah, and before the game began, I was kind of saying if this game starts to transition into the mid to late game, it's definitely a C9 favored comp, and this is why. I mean, look at Xayah now. She's going to do a lot more damage than Lucian. It's going to be really hard for Lucian to match her in like DPS in the fight.
Yeah, and has the safety of the Bloodthirster. I know Yeon's picked up the magic damage shield, Hex Drinker, at least to try and help with some Viktor splash, but Cloud9 ulti only catches
Fudge.
Fudge looking for the angle, finds his target, charm attempts, but Yeon blasts going away. The talent wave coming through into the narrow crevice, gets a knock up on the couple. Zven over the wall, almost dies. Now Summit in the center of them all. Zven battle dancing rest of the team, and Fudge now in the center has used all the summoners, but ends up going down. Summit retreating from the Chaos Storm. Berserker keeping his focus onto the fish on the other side. CoreJJ is the one looking to get hooked, but Cloud9 pushing off after the 1-for-1 trade.
I love Berserker walking around towards the Krug wall. It's like, hey, he's actually going to flash over to try and chase. They had already won the fight, though, and Cloud9 turned towards Baron, trying to burn it down. Summit has teleport. Sion could come back.
Yeah, but they don't have Lucian. I mean, I don't think this is going to be anything.
Yeah, the timing of that means the Baron's already burned for Cloud9, and they turn this with the root and the stun and more onto Summit. Haeri and CoreJJ poking the best they can. Double stun up, double knock up, double lockdown onto Zven and the rest. Cloud9, though, still holding purple on a couple.
Yeah, I think Cloud9 just got mind controlled a bit. I think they could have just ran there and used their Baron to play the map, but yeah, that was actually just some Summit mind controlling. I mean, they don't have a lot of damage to deal with the Sion right now. Yeah, he's really hard to kill.
Yeah, I mean, he gets stuck in the gravity field, but then they get 2 kills out of it and a tower off the back. So, like, that's a negative Baron play right now.
Yeah. I mean, the Baron's done. I mean, they can't... I mean, when they all spawn, they can try to probably have, like, 1 siege timer, but it's not going to be as much.
Yeah, massive blast cone here.
Yeah, okay. He's out.
Really good heads up there to be able to survive this long, but then they get their chunk out.
I think Fudge definitely overplays a bit here. This is Cassante nerfs coming in. You're a lot squishier now when you use your ult, and it just showed there.
Yeah. All right, then the teleport. It's too late for Baron, but not too late to bait him in. Gets stunned on the edge of the gravity field, and then Zven goes in and gets hit with the Q into bubble. Look at the follow-up. Q into ult into bubble.
Yeah, I think Blaber going in for the W on Sion there is like, he kind of has to know, like, they're not going to have the damage to kill him there. Oh, wow. Get Berserker's damage. I mean, double and more in Yeon's last fight.
Despite some of those last moments with kills being favored for Team Liquid, for Cloud9 sticking around to try and get that revenge, you were talking about how Berserker can be absolutely powerful with his itemization this late into the game. You saw it on the damage charts, and that's why Cloud9, they're just going to do their best to try and keep these carries protected and go into these team fights with a lot of confidence if they can.
I mean, not to mention the utility Maokai is also providing compared to Elise at this point. I mean, he is just way more useful of a champion at this point of the game as well. Like, he makes so much more space for the carries, the control mage they have mid, Viktor and Xayah, the hyper carry, so it's going to be a really hard game for TL to win now. They have to one-shot Xayah somehow. That's the only way.
But Cloud9 picking up this dragon means that they tie it up 3-3, and Team Liquid not quite at soul yet. Now both of them on soul points.
Yep, that's why that last dragon is a head scratcher for Blaber. I mean, this would have been soul for C9 and probably just GG.
Yeah, definitely some things to review from both teams looking back at this one. Honestly, though, it's going to be so hard for Yeon to play the rest of this game. He has no flash. At least his cleanse comes back up now for the Lucian, but this is the stage of the game where, yeah, you can do your culling, but after culling is down, like you are under threat from all sides here. You mentioned the Maokai ultimate. Fudge has had some good teleport flanks. His teleport is back up again, and you're facing Zven with this pretty tanky Rakan build to be charging right in from a screen away. It becomes super hard to play the short-range Lucian because, again, he doesn't have that rapid fire for those poke moments either. And it's just like Berserker will be able to get out so much more damage.
One of the big difference makers when you're looking at the ultimates with how you're saying the culling is just going to tickle a little bit, whereas Berserker has some of that escapability with the Feather Storm, but the damage with the Blade Caller follow-up.
And like, I want to give huge props to Zven this game because, I mean, he was saying earlier on the dive, I saw clips of him talking about how he's not just this like support player, like what's the word for it? Enchanter player, and he's showing up on Rakan, which is, you know, one of the harder engaged champions to play in pro play. Like, you have to find really creative angles, like he was looking for the dragon, and I think it's pretty impressive that he's showing up in this game and, you know, proving people wrong as he's saying that he can play whatever he thinks is meta and whatever he needs to make his team win. And this is a really telling game for that.
They were talking about you on the dive as well. Did you hear that part and any thoughts? Giving you a lot of props? You've always gotten a lot of props from Cloud9 specifically.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. We do scrim Sion a lot, and scrims are really fun. I especially like playing against Fudge. It's really good practice. And yeah, I mean, I appreciated the kind words. But yeah, I did appreciate that.
Yeah, Cloud9. It's been a great time getting really a lot of y'all onto the broadcast. You here on the cast, getting to hear from Zven on the dive and give some more insight into what we're seeing on the Rift from these players. That additive layer of seeing Zven on these engage supports and what he can do for the team, because it's a great point that you make. The way that you set up with the charm of the quickness of his ultimate, the way you target with your battle dance to keep your team alive makes a difference.
Yeah, and so for the next steps here for Cloud9, for Zven, with the Baron coming up pretty close here, they're just trying to get vision control leading up over towards Baron, take away all of the Team Liquid vision, because you know, Fudge can push in on that bottom side. They can just keep on fishing around for picks. Maokai ultimate through these small corridors of the jungle leading over to Baron. They actually have a really good turn here from the Cloud9 team. So they can start it out, they can threaten Team Liquid, and just keep making them check, making them use more things until they can get that big turn for the pick. And hopefully for their sake, we can fight afterwards.
And look how lit up that top jungle is for C9 right now. They just use the push from bot lane, from Cassante, to then play on 2 lanes, play into their jungle, and just like either hope someone on TL messes up, tries to face check and retake when it's not their timer, get that pick, try to break open their base, and if not, just keep farming, keep playing how you should, and you know, wait for the objectives to spawn and then start the objective. That's standard macro right now, and you know, C9's doing that.
I mean, with Rakan Maokai, that is a guaranteed engage.
Yeah,
so we'll see if
it's just an ARAM. I mean, they kind of have. Oh.
Pyosik.
I mean, C9 has to match it. If TL just runs 5 down mid, C9 has to match it, but I think that C9 will win straight up ARAM, and that's just kind of how TL counters their play. Like, oh wow, that thing
that bar, it disappears so fast. Cloud9 going for it, the follow-up from Team Liquid, but it is Cloud9 getting the Baron. They're trying to turn it around. Fudge with the root onto Summit. Does Cloud9 keep pursuing? Pyosik trying to find an angle elsewhere. Triple Aqua Prison from CoreJJ, but the follow-up ain't there yet. Summit flashing over the wall. They're focusing on Yeon. Yeon being the squishies, Yeon being the biggest damage, but CoreJJ first to fall for them. It's the entirety of the bot lane. A limited Cloud9 coming out on top, wearing that purple like they love to do, and pushing down mid.
I love it when I see the AD carry leading our charge forward. Berserker front line there, Gale forces in their faces into the big ult blade caller. Cloud9 are done with this game. They're gonna look to end.
I mean, Berserker is just so damn good. And even Fudge as well, burning the Lucian flash at the start of the fight there is so huge. Lucian felt in threat. Oh, they're just killing them all, man. Look at Berserker go.
Oh yeah, Berserker going with the double and more. Pyosik manages to throw one back onto Blaber, but Ace is the place for Cloud9. All it's gonna take is a bit of clearing up of a couple turrets here around the Nexus for Cloud9 to continue the strength they have showed throughout this round robin and pull upon the dominance of years past and make a statement against Team Liquid.
Oh my god. There was a little bit of banter in chat as well, but
I
you know what we get there? That is some spicy trash talk to end the game. Holy!
Oh my goodness,
let's just say Zven takes no prisoners.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh man.
The cold handshake.
Oh, what the heck is actually going on?
Okay, an interview actually.
Something actually must have happened. Holy moly.
Yeah, I gotta interview him on stage for that one.
Yeah. Get in there, Revenge, investigate. There is some drama, baby. Cloud9 though, coming out on top. They were able to weather the storm of this really good setup Team Liquid plan. I feel like Team Liquid, their game plan coming in and the execution of it in the early stages was quite good. But Cloud9, they retake control, massive team fight for them. They punish Summit, taking a bunch of damage. Then they just fully wrench control of the game right back after that.
Oh yeah. This was a really, really just telling game from C9 to show why they were a championship team last split or last year, and how they've kept that in their team play, you know? Like, not a lot of teams would make it, like, the climb back in this game that they did from their deficit. So really, really props to them. Like, Xayah at one point was down a full item on Lucian, and they still managed to weather the storm, play a slow game, crawl back slowly but surely into the game, punish mistakes, do their correct macro, So really huge props to C9 for this game. It just shows how strong of a team they are.
Any renewed evaluation of Team Liquid considering what we saw? Because they did have that early game playing with Elise very well, but then couldn't quite match up once Cloud9 played the game in exactly as you described.
I mean, it's kind of two things for me. It's how mid-jungle controlled early game. Again, like losing that first Drake is really, really crucial for me. I think they should have kept the dragon stacking. And also just, I mean, some of the mistakes that were coming out in the team fights from the rookie players they have, you know? Haeri and Yeon. Like Haeri randomly dying mid, losing pressure for a plate, and then also, yeah, just Yeon in that one dragon fight. And then sadly as well, Summit just didn't play his space well as a tank. I mean, yeah, a bit disappointing, but...
The best way to tank is not to take the damage in the first place. Obviously, that is ideal scenario, but this is going to boost Cloud9 right back up. So happy to see them, you know, kind of supplant themselves up in second place of the LCS.
Yeah, definitely.
And happy to see a Revenge here on the cast. A lovely lady gives me this before. Do you want to hold it? Do you want to share my flower?
Ooh, okay.
As a thank you for joining us here on the cast.
Yep, thank you for...
But you did leave me hanging on my fist bump.
Whoa!
Whoa! Shots
We're good.
fired all around on the stage.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Revenge, so much for joining us. We are officially live with our tickets for the LCS Spring Final BT Dubs in Raleigh, North Carolina on April 8th and 9th. So head to Ticketmaster.com right now to claim your spot. Again, thank you, Revenge, and everyone that's been joining us thus far. It is time for a break, but after that, we got TSM versus Dignitas and Fudge joining Cutie Cinderella for some tea time.
Okay.
Talk to more Berserker.
Jungle Div.
Again.
And I'm Pyosik, so good luck.
World champ.
Enemy jungle, world champ. Our jungle, not world champ. GG.
One into dangerous territories. Hill has the ultimate to pop up when needed with a stun. Yeon goes in for it, but Fudge goes back. Pyosik up into the air, and down he goes. A shutdown for a Berserker. Kill onto Yeon. Cloud9 trying to turn this Summit, finally getting eliminated into his dead state.
It might be game losing if they get this Baron. Pyosik wants to have a steal. He can't get in.
Oh my God. Blaber secures the Baron.